Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well today, and happy fall. Still feels a little bit like summer and a little bit like fall, but hey, what can you do? I'm happy you're here this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you watch this. So today we're going to talk about the speed of life, and specifically about the speed of spiritual life. Good morning, friends. Glad you're here. And I firmly believe that your pace and my pace out in life affects our peace inside, and at the same time, our peace inside often affects our pace, our craziness outside. These things are related. I remember I was watching a show called Top Gear a couple of years back. Great show. But there was one where they had two guys in convertibles driving from LA to Santa Monica on the same freeway, same car, except they had two different assignments. One guy drove in the slow lane with classical music on, and his job was to just, take his time to get from A to B and enjoy the ride. And the second guy's job was to get from A to B as fast as he possibly could, because it was a race and it was a contest and he had to win. So they videoed the two guys going, and then they interviewed him at the end, and they actually did a funny thing. They checked their blood pressure and their heart rate. And so you would probably guess the guy in the slow lane had an awesome time. He enjoyed his drive, going from LA to Santa Monica and getting to the beach, and all the beach, people were down there, and he's playing his music and just enjoying himself. And his blood pressure was low, his heart rate was great, he arrived with a smile on his face. The other dude beat him by about a minute, that's it, in the traffic, but was stressed out and was all upset, and and his heart rate was, his blood pressure was up. I feel like that's a little model of our lives, where we might save a minute, but we might lose something in the process. So why do we rush around so much? I mean, we hear that it's not good for us, but it seems like we almost can't help rushing in our culture to some extent. I think that some of it is an addiction, that we get addicted to busyness. I think some of it is almost we expect other people to, view us a certain way if we are busy. Like, if I ask somebody how are they doing, often they'll say, "Oh man, I'm busy." And that's like a badge of honor, like, I'm so busy. But shouldn't our goal be to not be crazy, rather than that's our badge of honor? I feel like sometimes we rush after things, even if we don't need to rush. So sometimes we figure out more efficient ways to do something. We figure out, like, contests for our kids. Whoever can take the fastest shower wins. Whoever can eat dinner the quickest. We make up stuff that adds rush where rush isn't even necessary. I realize something funny about myself. Sometimes I do a lot of to-do lists. Sometimes I will add things to my to-do list just so that I can cross them off because I've already done them. I think we're kind of addicted to accomplishment. That's not so good. If you do that, send me a message and say me too. I wanted to read a couple of verses from Matthew 11. This is Jesus speaking, and I'm going to read from the Message, because sometimes that just totally gives me insight. But he said, "Are you tired? Are you worn out? Are you burned out? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest." Look at this phrase. Walk with me and work with me. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. That is really good. I think sometimes in our religious life, we model the culture and we get crazy and frenzied and busy. I don't picture Jesus running around like a chicken with his head cut off while he was walking on earth. It's just, that's not who he is. I was also thinking about this verse from 1 John, and hopefully it will get under your skin like it did mine. It says, whoever claims to live in Jesus must walk as he did. Shoot. So in other words, following Jesus is not making sure that we're religious enough. It's not making sure that we're good enough. It's not making sure that we go to church enough, that we sing the right songs, that we pray the right prayers. Following Jesus means living to walk as he walked. So then we have to say, how did he walk? He walked intentionally. He walked prayerfully. He had constant communication with his Father and with his friends. He never lost his peace. He's the Prince of that, the Prince of Peace. And if I'm walking with him, then peace will not just be a byproduct, it'll be what I'm swimming in. But I feel like sometimes we rush around, and we never see Jesus rushing around after things that didn't matter. We see him busy caring for people's needs. We don't see him rushing around like a crazy person. There's a Japanese theologian named Kasumi Kayama, and he wrote a book called 3 Mile an Hour God. Super insightful. So he said these words. He said, love has its speed. It's very different than the speed of technology. If we want to walk with God, we must go his speed and not our own. So his thesis, his theory of this book is that when we see Jesus walking on earth, we see the speed of God in relationship. When you're walking with someone, you can talk with them, you can work with them, you can do life together in conversation. And we have moved way beyond that to this frenzied pace. And if we want to hear God and spend time with him and learn from him, we're going to have to slow down to be at his speed rather than expect him to come over to our side. That's not how he plays this game. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He will do his thing, and he will wait for us to pay attention and get on his speed and get on his plan. I hope you're listening to that. So a question, how tuned in to God do you feel right now? Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, I feel about a 4. Maybe I feel about a 10. If you feel low on your tuned inness, evaluate your pace. Is your pace drawing that number down because you have crowded out time with him? You're moving too fast, and he doesn't want to move that fast with you. He wants you to pay attention to him. So sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice. Like, well, I just live in this culture. You know, maybe if I moved to Texas, well, if you move to Texas, all the Californians are there, so you're going to be busy again. That's just reality. But maybe if I moved to Nepal, yeah, maybe that would help. Sometimes when we get the bigger, better job and the bigger, better house and the bigger, better this or that, it does make our lives more crazy, and we do need to simplify. There are a couple of books that I have on my shelf. I realized I have like 13 or 14 books about pace and busyness. Maybe there's a theme, but a couple of the books talk about illness and pain as something that God uses in our lives to slow us down. So here's a little heads up warning. If God can't get your attention and you are a follower of his and you go way too fast, he might slow you down. Better to choose to slow down than have to slow down later on and go, oh my gosh, why am I going through this? Because you were running at 1,000,000 miles an hour and not even listening to him. So here's a thought. Jesus got more done than you did so far. In his lifetime, he got more done than any of us could ever get done. And yet he did not lose his communication with the Father, and he never lost his communication, his peace with those around him. So let's do the 1 to 10 thing again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy is your life right now? And how busy, how crammed, and how much of what you and I are running after will matter forever? Be honest. Well, my kids, yeah, I got to take it. Yeah, but your kids will be there. What of your pace right now, the things that take up your day, will matter in 100 years? Just think about it. And here's a challenge for some of you that need a little dose of slowdown. Take a slow fast. I like how that sounds. What if you took a week and you did things a little different? You drive in the slow lane rather than the fast lane, and rather than thinking, man, all these people are in my way, all these people are barriers between me getting my goals done, what if you saw them as people and you prayed for them? What if you ate slowly? What if you listened to people as if your life depended on it? What if you went to bed at 9? What if you shut off your phone after dinner and you never went back to it until the next day? What if you did some stuff like that to slow the train down? Think about doing a slow fast. I'll put some stuff out on Facebook if you want to do a slow fast and you need a few guidelines. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope I didn't add to your stress today, but I hope that some of what we've talked about can remove some stress over time and help us to walk at the pace that God is walking. God bless you, everybody. Enjoy the day.